Hello, it's September 1st, 2022, and this is the S Rank Media Club Live. Hang out with us for our live podcasting and, as always, our world famous segments. Big news this week 841 days left until Sonic the Movie 3. Really surprised we didn't get any new hot news this week, considering how much closer we've gotten to the release of this epic movie. Um,
What are you looking forward to most about this movie?
Not Tails. I was
very
very sad to learn Tails was going to be in the movie. I kind of wish they would kill Tails off. That would be the best thing they could do. Um, but yeah, also this week we have a ranking of Rouge-Lites, our first part of that, which will be Hades, and ranking of video game movies, continuing on our Mortal Kombat trend, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So yeah, how's the week been for you guys?
Pretty chill. Been off of work, which has been nice. So
Nice.
But also been doing a lot of like homey stuff, like cleaning up the house and stuff like that, trying to reset before my new job. Haven't really done anything new. I've been continuing watching Naruto and Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of chugging along with those, which has been good. Hunter x Hunter has been just really good. Naruto's kind of it's Naruto. It's slowly inches along.
That's
but
one way to phrase
I'm
it.
looking forward to it. I think I'm waiting for it to pick up Naruto at least because I know it's going to.
Yeah.
As he kind of gets more into being an adult and not being an idiot, because that's what he is. He's just an idiot. Like,
hey, you said it.
Majority, yeah. So, I mean, everybody says it in the show. So,
What episode are you on in Naruto by chance?
I'm on season 3 of the not the original Naruto, but like, what is it, Shippuden?
No, okay.
I'm on season 3. I'm on like episode, I think it's like 100 something, 111. I want to say like total.
Mm-hmm.
So like season 3 episode, like probably 2 or 3.
I'm sure it's a filler arc by now.
Yeah, I've thought about just watching all of the the main arc stuff, but I kind of am interested in everything, so I've been watching that. But yeah, and then I did actually play Mortal Kombat 11 today because I was
you did?
Xbox, yeah, on the PC Xbox
Game
store
Pass?
or whatever.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, let me like load this up while I watch the movie. A little Mortal Kombat on Mortal Kombat action.
Did you just play?
I'm terrible at it. So bad.
I played through the whole story mode in that.
I played the first 3 fights.
I gotcha. It was entertaining, I thought.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm just so bad with the combos. Like,
Sure.
It took me, I don't even know how. One of the tutorials, it took me, I think 10 minutes just to get the combo right. Like, to get the button like
Yeah.
down, and it was terrible, but it's a lot of fun. I feel like I'm not using the move set to its full like extent.
Sure.
Because I'm just mashing X or A.
Yeah, that takes a ton of time though.
Right. So, but it's fun. I'll probably, maybe play a couple fights here and there. The story's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's wild. It's way out there, but it knows what it is.
Right. Yeah, I was introduced as Liu Kang and Katana. They're evil now, so I was like, oh, that's like way different than what we've been watching. That was interesting, but yeah, that's kind of my week. How about you guys?
I've played almost no games in the last week. We've been doing too many things for the last like 2 weekends and weeks, and it's been very tiring. Luckily, I should have some time off from that now. But yeah, I've barely touched any games. I played a little bit of Rocket League, just a couple times for like an hour. Trying to think if I played anything else this past week. I'm not sure I did. I did do a couple Hades runs, which I would still like to play more of that, even though I've I've made the first clear, but um, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. But also this week, I received my stray cat backpack. I have it right here with a live cat. We'll see if she cooperates, so you can see. This is the stray special edition. I don't know.
Is that Lux chilling in there?
Yeah, that is my cat Lux inside there. Lux, hey.
Yeah, he's just staring.
It's a he, right?
It's a she, but
does she enjoy being in there or no?
She doesn't seem to mind it too much. She's pretty chill. I think our other cat would be maybe afraid. I even put our Pomeranian in there. He kind of fits. But yeah, so I got it mostly because of the colorway. I didn't really love Stray, but I still think this thing's pretty cool. So hopefully I'll be taking my cat out somewhere with it at some point soon.
Pretty cool.
Lux, do you want to say hi? No. Yeah, so I got that.
How's the quality? Is it pretty good?
Yeah, as far as stuff I've looked up, this brand, what is it? Travel Cat, and this is the Fat Cat bag, and I don't think I would want a smaller bag for my cat. So there might be smaller versions, but I recommend the Fat Cat version. Build quality seems really nice, which is kind of what the reviews online have said. I think this is like on the more expensive side of cat bag carriers you can get, but it does seem to be pretty nice. So, yeah. But
good to hear.
Yeah, other than that, I haven't watched much TV the last week either. I really want to start watching the Lord of the Rings series and the House of the Dragon, but I also want to finish The Boys. So maybe this weekend I'll get through some of those. What about you, Kudrow?
Oh God, I've been thinking like for a while now, and I can't think of too much that I've really watched. I've still been watching. I went back a little bit to Ranking of Kings, which I'm like 2 episodes short of finishing. Other than that, it feels like I've just been, other than like some other weekly anime releases, it's just been trying to squeeze in runs of Hades where I can.
Yeah. Well, so not much from us this past week then. Yeah, so today we have our first ranking of Rouge-Lites, Hades. Bring up our beautiful graphics here. Oh no, it's on your camera, Quinn.
Hey.
That's okay.
I'm blocking his face.
All right, so we'll go into our ranking of Rouge-Lites here. All right, this is Ranking of Rouge-Lites Part 1. I'm Colton, joined by Quinn and Kudrow.
Hey, guys.
So our first roguelite, Hades, heralded as one of the best roguelites by most, I think. So in Hades, you play as the son of Hades, Zagreus, and you're trying to leave your home of the underworld. Your father forbids you from leaving, but you disregard this and attempt to leave anyways. And then this becomes the gameplay where you are working upwards, trying to escape the underworld as you go through encounters as each floor, kind of, or each room. And the story plays into the run-based element of the game because every time you don't survive a run, you respawn from a pool of blood in the underworld. So that's like your home, basically. You respawn from there because you're essentially a god. So you die, but you don't really die. You just spawn in the underworld. You already live in the underworld. And then along the way, you meet all kinds of characters from Greek mythology, in the form of other residents from the underworld and in the form of magic abilities sent to you from the inhabitants of Mount Olympus. So I guess a good place to start is probably the story of this game. And for me, of any roguelite game I've played to date, this is definitely the best story I've encountered in a roguelite.
Yeah, I think this. I mean, I haven't played that many roguelites, so
Mhm.
I don't have vast knowledge. But this story was in conjunction, especially with like the art style and the graphics that
Mhm.
it has, was very engaging and really cool. And
Yeah.
it definitely brought you into the game, which I think is a great accomplishment for especially for a video game like this where it's not you're not continuously like kind of working with all the characters. It's just you by yourself,
Right.
working through levels.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. It's really good.
When it does present you with like those other characters, like the only you just get like literally it's like an art thing of the character, like Athena. Like it's just like an art of Athena with her spoken dialogue. And I think all of the spoken dialogue works really well. And it's like not, it doesn't take itself too seriously and it's like entertaining. Like I really feel like I had so much fun with the dialogue continuously throughout playing it. It wasn't like I did this for 5 hours. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of tired of the dialogue. I was listening to the dialogue every time the whole time I was playing. Uh,
Mm.
I thought all the gods were interesting. I thought the voice acting was very good from like everyone involved. I can't look at any of them and say, "Oh, well, this there was some bad voice acting." Like I really feel like across the board, the voice acting, dialogue was all very good. Um,
Yeah, and I think especially the way it's kind of a dungeon type game is you're gonna encounter the characters over and over again, right?
right.
And I
Yeah.
think there really wasn't a problem of it being weighed down by getting the same messages from the same characters over and over again.
Mhm.
Like I never felt like bombarded all the time where I was just like
Right.
trying to skip through it just just to get it over with type of thing, which was really
Yeah.
good. So
And even though it's a like there's such a progression of the story, even though you're just playing through the same thing over and over again, the way they kind of weave the story progression into you playing through like repeated kind of runs, I think that's really interesting. And I just feel like the depth of that they achieve in the form of a roguelite is it's pretty amazing. Uh, but yeah, I loved the story. I still want to play more to hear what it does, like continuing. But
yeah, I didn't have um the time to finish. I got cut off because I was gonna play some today and on PC Game Pass. So
what boss did you get to?
um,
Did you
I
get
I
past
just made it into the
the third world?
Elysium. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So
Mm.
that's like, I mean, there is a fourth world, but it's much smaller. So, um, yeah, Kudra, what did you think about the story? Did you like it? Any additional
Oh, I
notes on
adore
it?
it. As a mythology fan, like one thing I would even like maybe go a little bit more detail in is like just how I feel like they do mythology a great justice.
Mhm.
I mean, like there are some elements of it that are very downplayed, which I kind of understand for Western audiences when you're looking at themes of like the incest that's prevalent in Greek mythology.
Sure.
I don't really see how that ever come up, but I mean, like
Right.
the fact how they're able to portray so many like the just a general dysfunction of the Greek pantheon through the story in multiple ways too, because like you obviously have like the estrangement of Hades
Mhm.
from and all the chthonic gods from the Olympian gods. But then even the general dysfunction of the gameplay, like when you enter a room and you have to do the trial of the gods.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
hate
where
those.
there's two of them and you have to pick one and the other one gets mad at you. It's like they
Yeah.
turned it into like modern family drama kind of, but like in the setting of like Mount Olympus. And
Yep.
yeah, it's like it's just kind of a fun time. It's not too like dark and yeah,
right.
it's
Yeah, I like the relationships between, I mean, you and the
mhm,
characters of the underworld as well. It's like there was almost like a familiarity to, all the different people that were in the home base, so to say, which was cool too. And then kind of like what you were saying, as you talk to them, and you could give gifts to the gods as well that would like
Right.
better your relationship with them.
Mhm.
Yep, the
Um,
nectar.
right, and so that would give you some benefit. So you could give gifts to only the same god, or you could spread spread the love around, which it it just added another dimension to
Yeah,
the
I
story
guess
as well as the gameplay.
we can kind of go into the mechanics from there in terms of like abilities and such, because a lot of the it revolves around you getting abilities from the different gods that you find. So
Hmm.
after you clear a room, you can sometimes get like it'll show up as a little symbol. Each god has a different symbol, and then you can get different abilities. And it's cool how all the abilities are like based on the different gods. So like Zeus has like lightning attacks. You can find Hermes, and he'll give you speed boost items. You can find things from like Poseidon, and he gives you like water based stuff. So the way that that kind of works into the whole thing's really cool. And like and they're vastly different. And you can have like one god for your attack and a different god for your projectile and a different god for your special. So there's a lot of variation each run as you find the different gods.
Hmm.
Uh, and I found like Dionysus, the wine god. I really ended up liking his abilities. Like his abilities give hangover, so it's like a lingering poison. So I've had a lot of fun with his abilities.
It's kind of funny because I forgot how strong his abilities were
Mhm.
until I completed. I did a third when I was finishing up my third run, which, by the way, was I had some godlike RNG, pun completely intended, because
Uh,
I ended up with like 2 duo boons, 2
mhm.
legendary boons, and so like I just beat the crap out of the final boss.
Hmm.
But but yeah, that damage over time effect, especially if you can get the duo boon with Ares that decreases the amount of time between damage ticks,
Mhm.
it's just busted.
Yeah, and I feel like I had fun each run with the different things I was building, and never did I feel like, oh, there's no hope for this run. Like I felt like I had success with different types of things on
Hmm.
different occasions, and I felt like there was a lot of freedom there. Um, where I was just ended up playing a completely different style almost sometimes because I was playing around something else I had upgraded.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
the flexibility with the builds that you can do is really interesting. And then like then you have the relic systems where you can equip them, and then you can get like the god you're specifically looking for to appear,
mhm.
which can add a lot of flexibility. You even have cast builds,
Yeah.
which I was I was very sad the one time I got a couple really good cast builds, but unfortunately I had like no health and other ways to deal damage, so then I died to the final boss on that one. Sad
uh,
day.
I think I really appreciated the way it lets you just stack the power ups. Like it won't let you have like two like casting abilities,
Hmm.
but there are there's so much stackability. Like you can get one that'll just make your attack faster. You can also you can just stack so many things. It doesn't make you feel like, oh, well, you got to trade it for this one to become less powerful here. In most cases, you can just keep stacking more stuff on top of your guy, and it really makes you feel really powerful towards the end of your
Hmm.
runs. And like every run I lost, I was like, oh no, I had such a cool thing. I got to start over again. But then I found something cool the next time. So it's yeah.
Thankfully the amount of times I lose a run is becoming increasingly rare.
Wow, pro gamer.
Well, to be fair, I mean you cleared your first run about 8 runs
20.
before I did, so
Yeah, I feel like you just got to use the shield. I learned how to effectively use the shield, and that thing just destroys.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
shield
I
is
just
really good.
always I just always end up picking what weapon the darkness highlights for the added
Yeah,
bonus and for the added
right.
darkness and gem bonus. But I haven't in the last like 7 runs, the darkness refuses to go to either the bow or the shield?
See, you got to move. So the darkness and gems are things you can use to the darkness you can use to upgrade your character, um, and the gems you can use to upgrade things in the house, and also like you can upgrade like healing pools during your runs to get more of those. But
Mhm.
yeah, Kudra, you just got to move away from that and just start worrying about pure power, and that's the shield. If we're talking about weapons now, I'm going to tell you I love the shield, and it's not that the other weapons weren't fun. I just the shield's so strong.
It's because you can block attacks with it.
The only time that the block really was integral, I feel like, is the final boss, because the final boss, I guess big time spoiler territory now. We're gonna really get into spoiling it here. The final boss is Hades. And one of his attacks is like a circle of lasers. And as Kudro told me, he's like, well, you just hide behind the object. And I'm like, well, sure. If I was really good, I would do that. But instead, I play with a shield and I just hold my shield up.
Right.
um,
That's how even on the first boss too that I utilized that allowed
oh,
you to
the,
get closer to Meg.
the first two bosses I aggressively chase around and just beat on.
Right.
But
Mhm.
But
Hades
she
not
would do
terrible.
that one. She would do at least the first boss. She would do that one where she would spit out the projectiles.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
obviously,
You're
if you backed up,
right. You hold your
you could
shield
kind
there.
of go around. But if
Yeah.
you use your shield, you could just hold it
See,
and then dash
I
through.
know the first boss, like I never found a great way to dodge those. I'm guessing you're supposed to dash kind of around them. I mean, you could kind of circle around them, but
Yeah,
I
about to
think
say it's like, but it also depends on but it also depends on which of the Furies you're fighting, right? Because
yeah, that's true.
Tisiphone fights differently than Megara fights differently than Electo.
Yeah, so another great thing, the bosses literally shift as you go through the game. Like the first boss you fight Megara the first time, but then
You just call her Meg.
but after that you find out she has two other sisters that you can also sometimes fight, and they have like variations in style, as well as the second boss, the Hydra. There's variations on the Hydra. Um, but and then the third boss is in the third world, you fight a Minotaur. You can fight a Minotaur as a sub boss, and then the actual boss of the third one is the
Asterius is the Minotaur.
yeah, the Minotaur.
Perseus is the other guy.
Perseus. I thought it was like Theanos or something.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's Perseus. I feel like I can't be misremembering this name, but as many times as I have fought him.
I thought it was no, Thanatos is the
Thanos.
no, there's a Thanatos though.
It is. Oh, Theseus. God, I did misremember his name. God dang it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, and then like in terms of weapons, Quinn, it sounds like you agree with me. The shield is the all powerful.
I used the first weapon like for one run, and then as soon
The
as I was
sword.
able to, I upgraded the shield and then
I
just
I
used the
did.
shield for the rest of the time.
Yeah, I did not have much luck with the sword. I did not like using the sword. I felt vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
the
last
shield was just a nice security blanket that you could just
Yeah.
throw it up.
Right.
the last run I lost was with the sword.
I do think now that I've cleared though, I may like go and play with some of the other weapons, but I was so like I'm like the shield's the best. I got to keep playing with the shield because I really wanted to beat Hades.
Right. I mean, that just speaks to the replayability, right? You get
Yeah.
new bosses and you can use different weapons, and then
Mhm.
all the the level or not the levels, the power ups affect the weapons differently. So it's just like exponential like ways of playing the game, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, variation in runs it feels really good. I can't fault anything there. I don't think. It gives you a lot of like. There's also just more additional things like you can pick different pathways, and it'll show you what type of item you're going to get when you finish that pathway. Um, you can run into other rooms with other characters you meet that will give you different buffs in each world. You can run into what is it, chaos? Is that what that one is?
The one where you go into the portal that hurts you.
Yeah, chaos where you
Yep,
take
that's
health
chaos.
damage and then I honestly like I still feel like there's a lot of stuff that I haven't even got to fully get into. Like there's other stuff I'd want to kind of try out more, even though
Mhm.
I've played through and beat it. But um
Yeah, I liked the chaos because it was like you take a negative, but overall
mhm.
you're supposed to get the
You get a
benefit.
you get
So
a
it was just
positive like 5 rooms later.
right. It just gives you more options and ways to play the game, which is really cool and
Mhm.
really can tailor your game to how you want. Especially because a lot of times when I was doing my runs, I was like, oh, I have the shield. I just need to boost my health, like just get my
Mhm.
health as high as I can, and then I can go as far as
Right.
as
Yeah,
far as I can.
you kind of get on different tactics. Like, oh, you're
Right.
like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
going to build up my health. And then you get into like these situations where like, oh, do I want to build up my health? They're like, oh, this is Dionysus though. Like could that be a good upgrade in there?
Right.
Uh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so that's kind of a fun thing where it's like hard for me to pick a lot of the time which one I want, unless it's the hammer. What's the hammer called that
The
upgrades your weapon?
Daedalus hammer.
The Daedalus hammer. Always get that one. That thing's a monster.
Well, it can be. I find some of the enchantments for certain weapons can be a little underwhelming, but
Oh, gotcha.
overall, though, not too bad. Not too
Yeah.
bad.
So do you have a favorite weapon, Kudro? Because you sounds like you've you know played with a lot more of them than we have.
I played with all of them.
But yeah, I mean, I played, but like it sounds like you've spent more time with each of them. Because I like the sword, I in the spear, I played like 1-2 runs, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna play the shield again.
Mhm. Yeah, like I like the sword,
Mhm.
but I feel like the fists,
Oh,
the
that's what.
fists,
Yeah,
the fists just speak to me
that's
on
been
a
my
level
second
that the other
favorite.
weapons don't.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
But at this point, funny enough, I actually just cleared a run like an hour ago
Oh, with the fist.
with the gun,
Oh, with the
actually.
gun. Gotcha.
So yeah, at this point, I have 4 clears. I have 2 with the fists, 1 with the gun, and 1 with the spear.
Nice.
So
Wow. No shield. It's bold.
you think I don't need to hide behind that shield?
Um, and another cool thing in terms of variation is after you beat it, you can get these little red skulls, like you can like skulls you attach to your run. They're called heat, and you can turn up the heat, and it makes the run harder with different variations.
Yeah, the
Think of
path
it.
to punishment mechanic.
Think of it like skulls from Halo, kind of like it's like, oh, this effect will be in play. Um, but that kind of
Have
goes.
you,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just thinking, have you played with some of those?
Just a couple, because I've only played a few runs since completing the first time.
Some of those are
Some of them look
pretty
crazy, yeah.
difficult. Like,
Yeah.
okay, so one of the runs that I cleared, the second run that I cleared, so okay, the second run that I cleared, I put on Extreme Measures 1,
Mhm.
which that's actually my favorite one that I played with so far because it just makes the Furies fight more difficult.
Yeah, that's the one I took at first too.
But I feel like it actually makes it a lot more of an enjoyable fight as you
Mhm,
start getting better at the game. But like I started experimenting with some of the other ones. Like one of them was I turned on the trap one.
mhm.
All traps now deal 400%
Oh
damage.
gosh.
It like okay, so like the first 3 levels really wasn't that bad,
Mhm.
but once you got to the Satyr tunnels, I've never been more scared for my life because like you step on so I only lost 1 Death Defiance that entire run,
Uh,
and that was the one I won with the spear. And what ended up happening was I was fighting in the Satyr tunnels in one of the last rooms, and I stepped on the trap, and I got hit by one of those like the guillotine traps.
mhm.
It thing did like 200 damage and
Oh.
just
Yeah,
immediately
even
stripped
like
me of
without
my
the
life.
multipliers, traps are heavy.
Hmm.
I yeah, in the I mean in the Satyr tunnels, yeah, but I feel like in earlier levels they're not that bad. Like spike traps deal like
Yeah.
in Tartarus, what are they dealing like 3 or 4 damage usually?
Uh, is that it?
Yeah. Not that
Maybe it's
much.
the
Yeah.
later traps I'm thinking of, like in Elysium. I feel like those ones mess me up.
Yeah, some of them can, like the
Well,
statues with the spears and such.
yeah. I guess along with that, we can go into enemies. Um, that kind of goes along with traps. The exploding wagons, they might as well be a trap. Oh my gosh. I've gotten better at methods to deal with them, but for a while, the exploding wagons, uh, well, the small exploding wagons, but then the big wagons that like charge at you and mow you down, I feel like they do
Mhm.
a hefty amount of damage. Um, but those guys, those were tough for a while for me. The spinning blades you can get from Ares, like that you leave a spinning blade when you dash. Oh,
Like,
that's
oh,
great. The wagons go right into it. I'm like, you idiots. I got you.
yep.
um, but other enemies I hated, uh, the shield dudes in Elysium. They were kind of a hassle
Hmm.
because I feel like I would try to go behind them, but there's so much other shit going on there. It would be like I'd go behind them and then get hit by a magic arrow flying through the air. So those guys could be tough. And if I didn't, I found sometimes my build wasn't like great for dealing with them, and I would get beat up sometimes by them. Um, then going into the fourth area, uh, the rats. Like if you get a bad draw on rats and you're just in a small room with just rats dropping poison everywhere, I lost one run like where I had a death defiance plus and I died to rats poisoning the floor. Like I could not kill them fast enough and they're spewing poison all over the place.
I hate those. That entire area, I don't like going through.
Yeah,
Uh,
outside of the rats, I felt like I did okay with it, but the rats, well,
I would also agree with the shield guys. They're hyper annoying
yeah.
to
Mhm.
deal with.
I didn't like in the second area the jumping, like, I don't know, like they were stones. I don't know. They would like go up in the air and then they'd follow you,
Oh, I know
and
what
then
you're
they
talking
slam down on
about.
top of you if
Oh
you
yeah,
like
yeah,
weren't
yeah.
paying attention.
Yeah,
So
like
like
yep.
when stuff is just getting out of hand, it's like hard to keep track of
Mhm.
those things,
Yeah,
and
then you
I get
got
hit by
the
them every once in a while.
Medusa heads trying to turn you into stone.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So like that was a deadly combo. You get hit by one of those, and then yeah, it was over.
Did you guys ever get into like the reflectability? I can't remember whose ability it was, but
Athena.
yeah, that thing. I found reflecting with my attack to be useful in some runs. I wasn't sure it was going to be, but then once I like started using it, I'm like, sweet,
No,
because you could like,
I always put deflect on the dash, man.
oh, I love a room of casters, and I can just deflect all the stuff back at the room. I can take a lot of joy in that.
That's fair. I feel like you. I feel like if you put divine on the reflect anywhere, you put it on the dash. It just makes the dash like the dash is already pretty strong.
Yeah.
That just makes it. I'm gonna keep making this pun, and I make no apologies for it. That just makes it god tier. Uh, but because the thing is like it feels like the iframes a lot of times like they start to peter out like towards the end of the dash. So if you're not
Mhm.
careful, you can still
Yeah,
get
well,
hit.
that
But
was
with
my
the divine dash, it seems like you get bigger iframes, and
oh,
now you don't even have to worry about the projectiles when you
see, I
dash.
felt like
So
with Divine Dash, I was like messing up and getting hit instead of reflecting it. I was much better at deflecting with the attack, but who knows? I think I only tried it probably one time until I used the attack instead.
mm,
Um, yeah, so I think the last thing to talk about with Hades is probably roguelite progression. A very important thing for roguelites is kind of the progression of your character over time. So I mean, Hades has its very interesting things where the runs are varied and you build up each run. But then, in terms of roguelite progression, you have the gems that you can build stuff with that will aid you in your journey. You have the trinkets you can level up and discover and obtain, which the trinkets have a wide range. Like, there's a trinket that makes you move faster, to, like Kudra was saying earlier, a trinket that will make sure you get a boon from a certain god. Um, and then there's also the biggest one probably is the mirror, where you can essentially upgrade your character stats.
Mhm.
Um,
Right, and
and
there's two different like stats you could upgrade per, I guess, line. I don't know.
yeah, you can like change. You have an option of 2 stats for each one.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. So that to me that was par. Um, that was that was good. It totally does what it needs to in this game.
Mhm.
Um, so I like that. I look back to Rogue Legacy and its castle building thing where you build up the castle. That's probably my favorite implementation of that. But overall, this one's good. I don't have any complaints. I don't have any. It's kind of just does what you think it would. You can upgrade your health. You can upgrade
Mhm.
stuff you get. But
So is like the upgrading of your base, let's call it, that's like a typical aspect of
yeah,
roguelites.
roguelites. Yeah, that's one of the things with roguelites is progressing your position per each like outside of because it's run based, but you're also progressing your
Right.
stats.
I
Yeah.
was I was just saying more about the environment. Like you could like paint the walls a different color or
Oh,
like
yeah.
is that typical or no?
Some of them might have that. I don't know. It's just a cosmetic thing, but yeah. Um,
I never did anything with that. I didn't think it was worth my time because
yeah, I was upgrading the
I'm not
other
really
stuff.
into that. So
It
I
looked, I would, but I wanted the other stuff more. The actual
right,
upgrades.
the
I
stuff
did
that
a
would help
couple
you in your runs.
cosmetics, but that was only because like if you the list of minor prophecies, there is a you can get a bonus if you can get a bonus with like if you do certain things with like house contractor, and I think one of them can include like just decorations and such. So I started spending a few gems on it just to get the
Mm.
reward for it. So I think the reward was like 6 diamonds. So, and I needed those diamonds.
Um, yeah, I guess any other thoughts or any specific characters you guys wanted to highlight?
Hmm.
Not that I can
Oh,
think of.
I pretty much liked all the Olympian gods. I think it's really hard to pick out favorites because I really did think all the characters were pretty cool. Um, yeah, I like Dionysus.
I liked his
Dionysus.
abilities, the
Dionysus,
bad
yeah,
one.
Yeah.
and I liked his dialogue. He was entertaining. Um,
Yeah. He might be my favorite one.
I
I'll
liked
put his
Megara too. I thought that was interesting dialogue with Megara about how you keep beating her and she's upset.
Right. I liked Scully. You
Oh
always
yeah,
could always talk to Scully.
yeah, giving you
Yeah.
tips.
The punching bag,
I
the dummy.
I always try to throw him a nectar whenever I can. Like, hey, this is for me beating you up, pal.
Right.
Um, yeah, are we
Uh,
ready?
Mama Nix.
Oh
Gotta
yeah,
gotta give it up to Mama Nix.
yeah, she's really cool. Her character design's cool. The effect on her voice is really cool. Um, yeah, awesome character.
Yeah, like all everything is just so good here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I guess last thing, I like how they populated with like kind of ghost spirits. So like it always
Oh
felt
yeah,
like there was like I don't know, like
right.
it just added to the environment.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I think it would have felt a little empty if they didn't have little ghosts,
Right.
and you could like
Yeah,
listen in to conversations, and they like tell you how they died or stuff like
right.
that.
The
Yep.
small like art details are all there. Like your feet are
Right.
like as you walk on the ground, you can see it like leaving heat footprints.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so are we ready to rank this?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Would anybody like to do the honor of ranking first? All right. I guess I'll rank first.
Go for it.
Hades is just an amazing game, and I would say it's the top roguelike game that I have played. Um, and just the story's so much fun. Uh, The combat's great. The I want to play more of it still. Um, I think like it's like, am I at an S or an S plus? It is the top of the genre. I feel like I can't look to any other roguelike game and say any other roguelike game compares. So I feel like it's an S plus. Like there's no flaws here. It's just the best roguelite game I've played, and I think it deserves an S plus. So yeah, I'm gonna give Hades an S plus.
Yeah. I guess I don't have that many roguelike games under my belt. I think this is maybe the first true roguelike that I've
Mhm.
played. I played a really fun one on iPhone actually. That was
Oh yeah,
like just kind of like a throwaway game. That was a lot of fun. Um,
I can tell us what it was.
it's called Archerio or
Oh,
Archero.
gotcha,
Um, Same sort of thing. There's different worlds, and then there's like 20 or so like levels that you go through, and you can change your character and your weapon, and
gotcha.
there's different like amulets that you can apply, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Very similar.
Mhm.
Um, it's free to play, so it was just kind of a throwaway like time wasting game, which was nice to play. But anyways, I think I have to put an S for now. Probably
Mhm.
will change once I obviously play more roguelites. So yeah, it's an S for me.
Sure.
Really really great game. Love the story. Um, the gameplay just felt really familiar. Like
Mhm.
there was no questions on what I was supposed to be doing and the best way to do it and all that. So really great game. So yeah, S for me.
That's because you guys just use the shield. I'm kind of with you both. Like, the big debate here for me is S or S plus.
Mhm.
I've only played one roguelike previously, and that was Rogue Legacy.
Mhm.
Um, and I mean, this game blows that one out of the water.
Wow,
So
I still like Rogue Legacy. I think it's a pretty good game.
I'm not saying Rogue Legacy is a bad game, but I feel like if you were to ask me to play Rogue Legacy or ask me to play Hades,
Yeah,
my excitement over one is going to be much higher than the other.
sure.
Uh, but yeah, I'm kind of with you. I feel like this game is like the top of its class for these rogue style games. Like I can't.
It's hard to find flaws. Like it's just it really does all of it. It's like, well, it's
Yeah,
but
I was thinking about that the entire time. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to make fun of with this game because I feel like I don't have
right.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it does Greek mythology justice. The weapons, the 5 weapons that you have access to, give it a lot of variety, and then you can even unlock different aspects, which add
Right.
tweaks to that.
Yeah, the infernal weapons.
Yeah, like once you start spending the Titan's blood and unlocking that, which adds enough variety to the combat for me, because I mean, like playing with the gun is very different from playing with
Mhm.
like the spear or the fists.
Mhm.
So yeah, then all the flexibility with the builds and the boom. I have to go S plus as well. Like I just can't. I can't even really think of too much that I could nitpick.
Right.
So I have to say S plus,
Yeah.
and I will definitely be completing all of the runs I have to in order to see that story play out.
Yeah. Well, I guess moving on to our ranking of roguelites overall list. I think this one obviously we're gonna put in the S tier. Sounds
I
No,
like.
agree with that. Yeah.
no, Colton is clearly F tier. Haven't you heard our conversation?
All right. Hades, ranking of roguelites. Hades is in the S tier. All right.
I might have to buy it now. I
I
think I probably will buy it.
I literally thought I'm like shit. And I was like, I'm running out of time. I'm like, you know what? I might actually want to buy this one. I think I'd like to play some more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was on PC like because it ended. Last day was yesterday. I
Right.
played a little bit yesterday, but
Mhm.
I was like, oh, like I can play a bunch before the the cast, and then I went to load it up, and it's like you do not own this game, and I'm like, God damn it, I forgot that it was going off.
Uh,
So that was sad because I really wanted to play more, but
yeah.
yeah, maybe I'll buy it because it's also like a game that you don't have to spend that much time on,
Right.
right?
You
Like you
can
can just
pick up
do like
and
one
play.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a struggle for me with a lot of games is like it's like a weeknight and I got like maybe a couple hours and I'm like, oh, this game's too hard to get into right now. And Hades is
exactly.
good as like a you could a full run, like you're probably not gonna go over an hour. So
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, like I've been doing like one run a night, and like I'll complete the run, and then I'll do like all the conversations and the gift distributions for everyone in the House of Hades, and then I'll set myself up for the next run, save and quit there. Next
right.
day, do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will get carried away where I'll just get pissed off at the game and
Right.
be like, okay,
Yeah.
this is
I
the
gotta
one.
do it. I gotta do another fucking run.
And then I get shitty upgrades. I'm like, oh, this is a mistake.
That happened to me a lot in the beginning. I was like, I get salty, and I'm like, oh nope, another run. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Can't end the night that way.
Yeah.
There is.
Fun
I
game,
will
fun
say
game.
one thing though. There is nothing worse. I feel like there's nothing worse than getting beaten by the final boss. Because like you're gonna spend like 40 minutes getting up there, and then you lose. And it can be a kick to the groin sometimes.
the run I cleared, I had went to Hades full health. I think I had 325 plus
Oh.
plus I think 325. I had a lot of health. At 275, I either had a ton.
Mhm.
Plus I had full death of two death defiance because I didn't own the third one yet. Plus the tooth. So I essentially had 3 uses of death defiance and full health. I beat him with 60 health left. No death defiances left.
Oh
I
man.
I was getting close. I'm like, shit. I'm gonna be so close. I don't want to lose. Oh man.
Yeah.
But
Makes you play better. Makes you
maybe.
focus.
um yeah. Any segments today? What do we got? What do I got?
We
I
can
don't
do
think
Steam review.
I don't have any interesting news. Yeah, we could I'm up for a Steam review. We're currently tied at 2-2.
2-2.
Yep.
Last
Time.
week's was what, Stardew Valley?
Yeah, I got it on the first
Colton
one.
won that one.
Yeah.
Give him iron beer
It
for
might
your
have been too
friend.
easy. Sorry.
Well, for
No,
him, he's played the game.
I was
He's
the
got
target audience.
Colton's got 1,000 hours in Stardew Valley.
Yeah, that just makes me feel like I was catered to him. You
I
just
think I got
gave
50.
him that win.
I got about 50 into it.
I didn't know. I didn't think.
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
think about Colton's massive Switch.
No, I played on Steam. I
But
used to. So I
okay,
do a cool thing. If you have an iPad, you can get a Steam Link app on your iPad. And as of last year, Apple allows you to sync Microsoft controllers to your iPad. So I have my controller Bluetooth synced to my iPad, and I can play Steam games on my iPad in bed. Now, I also have a Shield Pro in my living room that's Ethernet cable the whole way, so that one works great. The only thing I can't play on there is like Rocket League. Rocket League's just too fast to play on a wired connection even. But pretty much everything else works great on the Shield wired up. But the iPad one is good for 70% of games. Like there's 30% of games like, okay, this one's not going to work on
right.
this. But like Stardew Valley doesn't require like a, quick. So that game's fun.
High graphics rate.
Yeah. Because as my wife, we have a Switch, but my wife usually plays that. So when we're gonna lay down and play games, like she's playing the Switch, so I'll play on my
Right.
Steam Link. Yeah.
No.
Sorry. Anyways.
All right.
Steam
Anyway, round 5 of Steam reviews. We've got. I guess we're not going with the year, right?
No, I
But
think the
guess
year
that way.
makes it. Well, I think the problem with giving the year is we're scared to guess because I can say, oh, this game didn't come out that year. So
Right,
then
right.
we just sit here and don't give an answer because I can't think of. So it's almost like a way to force us to give an answer.
I
Okay,
appreciate the fact that you apparently have such an extensive knowledge of games. You know the year they release.
Well, not so much that, but just like I can say, like, okay, well, this didn't come out in
Relevance.
2020. This came out like sometime 5 years before that. I think is
Right.
kind of what I mean.
You can think of like graphics and how far technology has come between, releases. I think that's fair. It gives you a decent, clue. So I guess the type of game is a FPS, first person shooter, multiplayer. First review, they recommend the game. They have 1,000 hours in it.
Oh.
Review is, it's like roulette, fun until it turns into Russian.
It's like roulette fun until it turns into Russian.
This feels like Call of Duty.
Until it turns into, oh, that's a good guess. Until it turns into Russian roulette. Until it turns into Russian, it's like roulette. What first-person shooters like roulette?
I'm sure in one Call of Duty they fight a Russian person, but
there's a lot of Call of Duties.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's like, even if I was to guess Call of Duty, it's like I'm not even sure all of the Call of Duties. So
I'm gonna go with escape until it's Russian. I'm gonna go with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Bringing a guest back from 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Kudrow?
I mean, you want me to guess a specific Call of Duty, or am I allowed
Yeah,
to
we want you to
guess
guess a specific Call of Duty.
A specific Call of Duty? All right. I
feel like guess the Call of Duty series. Like, you don't need to say which Black Ops, but you just Black Ops or Modern Warfare.
I think that's fair, yeah.
Right? Otherwise...
fair enough. Let's see here. I don't think I played through the story of Modern Warfare. I don't remember that one being too heavily Russian, I don't think. I did not play through Black Ops. It could also be Ghosts.
I mean, Black Ops does have, I think that's probably the most Russian one.
Yeah, I'll say Black Ops.
Yeah.
Okay. Neither of you are correct.
Oh, no.
All right.
Next review. I'm kind of... I don't know which one would be better.
He's worried he's going to give it away.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, they recommend it. 718 hours on record.
Shit.
What?
If I had $1 for each time someone screamed at me in another language, I still have no money because I spent it on skins.
Counter-Strike?
That's garbage.
And on the buzzer. Is it Counter-Strike?
It's Counter-Strike, yeah.
Gotta be quicker than that, Kudrow.
That's a tie.
What?
That's a tie.
Judge, what is it? Judge, is it?
Are we doing ties? I don't know.
I feel like that is
answer first.
Colton did say it first.
Judge rules.
So it's either a tie or Colton wins.
It's Judge rules. I said it first.
We said it at roughly the same time. You just finished the word first because you said it as a statement. I said it as a question.
This isn't Jeopardy. Your internet's too slow. You got lag problems. You need to upgrade.
Don't even get me started on the
internet.
Internet.
I want to scream. I want to scream at Xfinity right now.
Did anyone in the chat? Anyone in the chat hear one of us say it first? If anybody heard, please tell us who the winner of that is. I think it was clearly me, but the chat can bias, well, yeah, but I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if we're not going to do ties, then I have to give it to Colton, unfortunately, because he came first on my end.
It's almost like he's saying that I answered it first and I'm the true winner.
You know what, Colton? Take your victory. You know what? I don't need it. I don't need it. Take it.
It is tough because we don't have like a buzzer system because it's kind of like for some answers it's kind of casual and you're like, I don't know, what is it? And then you like kind of say like a couple answers. I don't know, we could change it to where like you have to say, you can only say one answer.
You gotta write it on paper and hold it up.
I don't know. that wouldn't be much fun. So
yeah,
that's Colton. That's fine. You can take it.
So I got 3-2 in Colton's favor. Just for fun, I'll read the last one. They also recommend it 790 hours. You can kind of see a pattern here. How many hours people play Counter-Strike. Every team consists of 5 people. You, a Russian guy, another Russian guy, Russian guy who speaks English, a 6-year-old who slept with your mother.
Is that like a big thing on Counter-Strike? I've played, I don't know, like 20 to 30 hours. I gotcha.
I'm not sure how like the servers work, but I'm assuming that it's
I probably just didn't get far enough into it because I've probably played
Yeah.
30 hours of Counter-Strike in my life, maybe.
I want to try it. I might try it one of these days because it's so closely
I
related
already
to
play a bunch of
Valorant.
Valorant. Like I don't. It's almost like you already play a type of that game. So it's like
Well, yeah, Counter Strike's different though because the spray patterns are all the same for all the guns, and
yeah,
there's no like agents or like abilities,
right,
which
right,
I think would be fun.
yeah,
But yeah,
Hmm.
I know like people grind Counter Strike so hard, and like the pros are just insane. I've seen countless Counter Strike clips of just insane
sure,
gameplay. So
Well,
right.
after you play the game for a few thousand hours, I would hope
right,
you'd be pretty good at it.
exactly.
Calling from the
And there's
guy who's
also those.
probably 100 in Xenoblade Chronicles the last 3 weeks.
I am actually ashamed to say that I have not played Xenoblade Chronicles 2 in probably about 3 weeks now.
Gotcha.
Uh, I'm still 40-ish hours in. 45, I think, was where I left off.
I
Still got to
gotcha.
go and beat it, but I just have not had time to get on it.
Yeah, I
But
haven't I
maybe,
haven't got much more into Yakuza Like a Dragon either. Been busy with other stuff, but
Is that the latest one? 'Cause I was looking at
uh
Yakuza, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're like all
you forgot
remastered. And I was
Zero.
like,
You forgot
oh,
Zero.
0, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
um
like, I was wondering if those are worth like the try because they seem kind of
so
fun.
well, Like a Dragon is different than the other ones. So the other Yakuza games are like combat open world with
Right.
open world type. It's got its own like mini game things and like you can do all kinds of like jobs and stuff in the other Yakuza games, but otherwise
Is it
it's
like
like a
Mafia?
combat. I uh I think it's got similarities, but I'm not super familiar with the systems in Mafia if they have like the open world mini game stuff that Yakuza
Okay.
does. But the other Yakuza games are like action games, kind of like
Right.
I'm trying to compare the combat to something like have you ever played like Arkham the Batman Arkham games? Like that kind of
No, but I know what you're
combat,
talking about. Yeah.
like hand to hand combat stuff, I believe
Right.
is a lot of those. I haven't played a ton of Yakuza. I've only played one of them, like tested it out one time. It's like a demo basically. But like a dragon, like I said, is like an RPG kind of deal where it's like
Oh, okay.
mimicking like Final Fantasy Dragon Quest. And that's kind of what I like
Gotcha.
about it. But yeah.
Hmm.
Um
All right.
yeah, should we
Should
do
we
our Mortal Kombat
Mortal
ranking?
Kombat? Yeah.
do we
Uh,
have to?
um
Mortal Kombat Power Rangers movie.
oh, you gave it away already.
Oh my god.
Don't sound so high on Mortal Kombat.
On this movie, trust me, you don't have anything to worry about on that one.
I mean, at
Not for
least
this
it's
one.
better than one video game movie. Like it's not in last place. I mean,
Right.
right?
What movie beats this?
You know what movie it is.
All right.
If you're gonna
All
tell
right.
me this movie is better than Final Fantasy Spirits Within, you have lost all integrity as a reviewer on this podcast.
Wow.
All right,
Wow.
all right. I'll start, and then I'll pass it on to Kudrow. All right, welcome to Ranking of Video Games Movies, episode 5, I want to say.
4.
4. The second Mortal Kombat movie, Annihilation from 1997. Um, it's a hell of a movie. So I'll pass it over to Kudrow. He'll get us going.
All right. I'm gonna try to sound as enthusiastic about this movie as I can possibly force myself to be. So let's see here. According to JustWatch.com, the premise of this is a group of heroic warriors has only 6 days to save the planet in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. To succeed, they must survive the most spectacular series of challenges any human or god has ever encountered as they battle an evil warlord bent on taking control of the earth. So, let's see here. To start the movie off, as we're to walk through it a little bit by bit. The movie picks up right where the first Mortal Kombat left off. They're kind of in the middle of celebrating the victory in the Mortal Kombat tournament from the first movie, and then all of a sudden, Shao Kahn just appears in the sky and opens a portal to Earthrealm. We see that he is resurrected Queen Sindel, who is Princess Kitana's long deceased mother, to facilitate this mission. Apparently, her presence allows the portals to open, despite the fact that they should have been closed after the events of the first movie. So Shao Kahn attacks. He fights Raiden. Raiden ends up getting his butt kicked when Johnny Cage attempts to, step in and, protect everyone. Khan kills Cage, ends his life with a snap. Then, but I feel this is a good time to mention. I feel like it's an indicator of just how bad this movie is when I think every single actor got replaced.
Right.
Which I feel like isn't so much them being replaced as it is like they all just probably didn't want to do this movie.
Yeah.
Besides Kitana was
Kitana and Liu Kang.
Right.
Yeah. Which Liu Kang is perfect for the role, right? Or the actor that plays Liu Kang is perfect. So.
And I think the thing with Liu Kang is didn't the games kind of take stuff from the movies after the first movie? So I think the reason Liu Kang, it looks like Liu Kang, is because Liu Kang was based off Liu Kang. Kind of, right?
I think
so, yeah.
So. There were some changes that the games made to the movies made to the games continuity, like Kano's character,
right,
was became the Australian guy. But I feel like Liu Kang here seems like pretty accurate casting to who he is in the video games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Colton,
I mean, he does look like the.
I thought I remembered reading something about how Liu Kang, they took some stuff from Liu Kang, but I might be mixing it up.
But yeah, what you're saying, Kudra, either way, the Liu Kang in the movie very much looks like Liu Kang from the early Mortal Kombat games as well. So
yeah, well, it's a good casting choice.
Yeah,
most certainly.
Maybe wait, before you go on, I was gonna say maybe the actor that played Johnny Cage wasn't interested because of how short of the amount of time that he was in the movie.
I think they killed him because the Johnny Cage actor they had before, that was he didn't do it because I think it was to do with money. They didn't want to. He wanted to be paid more, so they just killed the character off.
Just killed the character. No,
that's what it really seems like. That was a force. We got to kill this character now.
There was no justice at all. They didn't build it up. They didn't.
Well, it's probably a thing where, okay, you have one line in the movie, so you're paid at this actor rate. So he has one line, and then he dies. I don't know. That's my best idea.
Wait, was that even the same? I thought he looked like a different.
No, character. It was, but there's we got to get this guy out of the movie as quick as possible.
Budget cuts, even though they made $30 million off the movie or something like that.
It wasn't much. At the very least, it wasn't.
Million, sorry.
It was enough. It made so little that they didn't make a third one.
I think they scared off other video game movies for a while.
I don't know about that, because I think there's yes, I mean after 2 years, I think Wing Commander, but then the only other one that came after that was Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
that was
Wing Commander. Yeah, big time one there, Wing Commander.
All right. So basically, after the heroes of Earthrealm get get wrecked, Raiden's we need to go find allies. So Liu Kang, go find Nightwolf. Sonya Blade, go find Jax, and I'm gonna go talk to the gods.
Oh my gosh.
So, and then you get this travel. Then you get this travel scene where they're traveling under Earth through this.
That's pinball, bro. That's literally pinball.
Yeah. What in the hell? Why? I don't.
It's just I guess it's because they wanted to avoid they didn't want to teleport people all over the globe.
Dude,
I guess.
It's just as it doesn't even look. It looks like they tried to make an elaborate thing out of it too. It looks like they like probably spent a lot on it. I'm just like, what in the
Right.
hell is this? Like,
And Liu Kang's
it's
like, "Wow,
so
this is amazing."
Might be the only thing they spent a lot of money on when we talk
oh
about the
man.
CGI, but we'll get to that though. We'll get to that. So, I mean, I'm just kind of going to take this storyline by storyline. I know the scene kind of cuts back and forth between them, but so, I mean, starting with Sonya, Sonya just goes and finds her partner from the last film, Jax, who is also recast, pretty sure. And now he's got some cybernetic arm, which enhances strength like 4 times or something. Which how on earth she just knew exactly where to find him? I'll never know.
Right.
But then they end up getting attacked by what's the other robot's name? Cyrax, right?
Yeah, Cyrax is the yellow one. Yeah, Cyrax is the yellow one.
Yep.
Cyber Ninja Cyrax.
Yep. Then the gray one is Smoke, and
Yep, I
then
remember Smoke.
the orange
And
one
then,
is Sector.
yep, that sounds right. So, but yeah, so basically, Cyrax is basically, he's leading a hit squad to try to eliminate the heroes of Earth, their strongest warriors, after a fight scene, which not a terrible fight scene, I guess. They end up Sonya and Jax end up winning. Then they go to start making their way to reunite with the others at the Elder God Temple. But along the way, then Sonya and like Jax and Sonya talk a little bit, trying to catch up with one another and figure out what happens. Along the way, you just happen to have this convenient mud puddle that Sonya and another woman start fighting in.
Then Jax says, "What is he? Something about you look good in mud." Oh my gosh!
God.
The lines that Jax character has throughout the movie about his dumb metal arms and just everything else is just
It's really bad. But then it's like after the mud fight, which need never be spoken of again. Then you have terrible CGI gargoyle that comes to life and is like, it looks like it's about to like try to eat Sonya, and then Jax just starts punching it in the leg, and then it just goes away.
I think that was the most offensive CGI in the movie. That one, not that the other ones weren't, but that one was the biggest offender.
I don't know. We could definitely have a debate about worse CGI.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah,
Hot topic.
All right, so moving over to Kitana and Liu Kang. So they're searching for Nightwolf, but along the way, they get attacked by Smoke, and then you end up with this. Kitana's fighting off all the minions, and Liu Kang's fighting Smoke. End up getting saved by the younger brother of the first movie, Sub-Zero, who freezes like Smoke entirely. Then you end up with a fight scene. Then Sub-Zero ends up fighting Scorpion, who appears. And this is a problem with me with this dialogue. Mm-hmm. So Scorpion beats Sub-Zero. Liu Kang saves Sub-Zero, and while Liu Kang is saving Sub-Zero, Scorpion takes advantage of that to kidnap Kitana, and then Sub-Zero immediately pins the blame on Liu Kang. Like, yeah, this is your fault. You're not ready.
That kind of goes back to our previous movie where Sonya, who's also a world-class fighter, just gets captured. Just like Kitana, who's also some amazing fighter who just gets immedately captured by Scorpion in this case.
I feel like you could argue it's even more egregious because Kitana's like what, 10,000? Like what did they say, like 1,000, 10,000 years old?
Yeah.
So so she's got a lot of combat experience under her belt, but nope, damsel in distress, here we come.
Get over here.
Well, and this time he says suckers. He yells suckers as he goes into the portal.
I hate it. All All right, so now after this, oh, and by the way, Sub-Zero after this scene just disappears. He's not in the movie anymore. He's not needed anymore.
Oh yeah, he doesn't come back, does he?
No, he's just gone.
Oh my gosh. And I feel like they just kind of don't even that I don't even remember him say anything about it. Just kind of just goes to the next scene and he's gone and that's it. Like I feel like I'm like, wait, what where did they go now? But yeah.
Yep.
Anyways.
Then after all this, Liu Kang's in the desert, wandering around. He ends up finding Nightwolf, the Native American warrior, uh, and he's trying to teach him the power of animality. So it starts off with this whole thing of like, so Liu Kang's in the desert at night, and then Nightwolf ambushes him in wolf form. And now, after a bit of a struggle, then Liu Kang throws Nightwolf off. Then Nightwolf just like appears out of wolf form. It's like, cool, huh?
So cheesy. Oh god.
It's really bad. But now it's like, okay, so in order to unlock your animality, you got to do 3 trials to test your courage and focus and whatever. And effectively, what it results around in, he gets knocked out with an axe that appears to have some mystical property. Goes through this dream sequence, and then when he wakes up, he has a fight with Jade. But this is another, like, you notice how it's like snowing at first?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we're just back in the desert once the fight scene starts.
Yeah.
Am I missing something there?
I thought it was like a dream sequence for the snowy part or ashes or whatever it was, and then when he was fighting Jade, it was not. I think
Jade was in there was in his dream. Well,
I don't have an answer for you. Then that was my best answer.
I don't know. I'm just
No
okay.
explanation at all.
Fine, whatever. Jade tries to seduce Liu. Let me see here. Then they fight. Liu Kang resists, and now Jade's like, "You passed the second test." and then after that, and if there was a third test, we have no idea what it was. I don't think it ever comes up. So you have Jade, which I think she was just lying out of her ass, and then you have the dream sequence, and then nothing. 3 trials. And that's just Nightwolf continuing to be a troll. I don't know.
Yeah, even in the Wikipedia, it's like the third test is never revealed.
And then, carry on, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not even sure Jade is meant to be the second test. I feel like it's just he goes through his dream sequence and then Jade just kind of pulls that out of her butt and lying, which for reasons I'll get to in a minute, but
they ran out of time.
Yeah, but going back to Raiden, Raiden goes to the Elder Gods Temple, meets with them, asks why Khan was allowed to break the tournament rules. Going in, because they won Mortal Kombat, he's not supposed to be able to invade Earthrealm, but he is. So, he's given 3 questions, and they're kind of giving him like mixed answers because they're talking about Sindel, but then they're also talking about how, just go beat Shao Kahn. And then the other gods start asking him, Raiden, about how he feels about mortals and what is he willing to do, what is he willing to do to make sure Earthrealm survives effectively. Is there something in Mortal Kombat that says like elder gods appearing as like fire and water?
No, I don't think so. I think that no.
No? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. So after all this, all of them end up meeting back at the Temple of the Elder Gods in Earthrealm. Raiden, you see, he's cut his hair, he's got a new look, he's become immortal now to fight with everyone else. They end up going to Outworld as which they're kind of chased into by a war band being led by Shao Kahn and Sindel. But so they end up getting into Outworld. As soon as they do, Raiden has a let's see here. The group ends up splitting up once again. Liu Kang goes off to save Kitana. Raiden ends up fighting like a couple dudes and what amounts to a pretty insignificant fight scene, all things considered.
I think it's supposed to show you how badass of a fighter Raiden is. I think that was the intention. I think it was like watch Raiden kick the shit out of these three guys at the same time because he's so cool. I think they were trying to like display Raiden's like fighting ability. That's what I got.
Was it even three guys though? Because it feels like three ninjas appear at the beginning, but then I feel like you only see Raiden fighting two.
Well, there were three at the beginning. That's what I got.
This movie's
they intended for three at least at the beginning.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah. So, okay, but anyway, so it's like Liu Kang goes off and rescues Kitana.
Yeah,
like he infiltrates Shao Kahn's palace.
Mm-hmm.
Goes and does that. And this is a problem that I have with the movie. So, okay. So Liu Kang, he fights a few Barakas, they're like ambushing him from like the ceilings on the, like swinging on chains and such. And then after he disposes of them, he rescues Kitana from the cage, and then in comes Shiva, a four-armed Goro woman who, as one of Shao Kahn's generals, seems like she would be pretty, seems like she'd be pretty badass. But does she get a fight scene? Nope. She just gets crushed under the cage. And then we never see her again.
Yeah, I remember being like, wait, did they just kill off that character? Like, why did they even show her at all?
Yeah, it was the most anticlimactic character death I could think of. It's almost funny in its anticlimax.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Just a pawn. They needed a filler character.
Yeah, but
they needed like something to like connect the two like parts of the story,
right?
Like, because that's the only reason they kind of went there, right?
Are we to the
final? But
after that, do we get to the final fight? Is that, or was there more between that?
I mean, there was kind of still more between that, because then you get the whole thing where like they capture Sindel, they reunite her with Kitana,
right?
Kitana, and then Kitana's like, Jade reveals herself to be a traitor, which is why I still kind of am under the suspicion that she pulls that second trial thing out of her butt. And then it's like, no, you fools, I am not the key to closing the portals. It's actually you just have to beat Shao Kahn. And then, despite doing exactly what Shao Kahn effectively ordered her to, feeds Jade to a gargoyle. Which I feel like this is a great time to bring up Shao Kahn's overacting this entire movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, and then all the deaths on their side are just Shao Kahn killing his own people. Like,
yeah, he killed
the ninja one he throws into the fire. Is it Rain that he throws in the fire? The purple one?
I have no idea. Wasn't he red?
No, red is the Blaze. Is the red one, I believe.
Oh yeah, he fights Sonya in the finale, but yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, I wish we. Well, yeah. So moving on, like okay, Raiden goes on this exposition where it's like, yeah, the Elder God Shinrak is my father and Shao Kahn's father, and by the way, Shao Kahn is also my brother. They realize that Shinrak is supporting Shao Kahn, to actually pull all this stuff off. Now we get to the final fight. Raiden confronts Shao Kahn and dies immediately. So now Jax, Sonya, and Kitana fight the remaining Shao Kahn's generals, which is the the centaur guy whose name I don't remember.
Motaro.
Botaro. Yep. Let me see here. Sindel and Red Ninja Dude. Is that Rain?
Blaze.
Blaze? Okay.
Rain's
Blaze.
the purple one.
Yeah. Okay, so fights Blaze. So Jax fights Botaro. Kitana fights Sindel, and Sonya fights Blaze. And then Liu Kang fights Shao Kahn. The three of them are like Jax, Sonya, and Kitana are getting their butts kicked until Jax is like, you know what? I'm stronger without my metal arms. And then they all start winning.
Oh my gosh. It's so Power Rangers.
It's ridiculously cheesy because like Raiden was like, those arms are not your power. They're
Right.
your weakness.
Yeah.
And then Jax is like, you right.
It's like foreshadowing that makes you want to throw up.
It's way too unsubtle to be called foreshadowing.
Okay, well.
This is like, God, I don't even know. It was like shining a spotlight on it. But yeah, then you end up with Liu Kang fighting Shao Kahn. Liu Kang, Liu Kang's losing to Shao Kahn. Then uses his animality, which is a dragon, and then Shao Kahn's is like this 3-headed Hydra figure. It was like you get more cheesy dialogue too. It's like, oh, you came prepared, but not prepared enough. So at this point, Shao Kahn starts losing. At which point, then Shinrak was about to intervene, but then the other two elder gods, stop him, and now they're like, no, this should be resolved in Mortal Kombat, despite the fact that it already was at the end of the last movie. And so then Liu Kang and Shao Kahn fight. Shao Kahn loses. The elder gods imprison Shinrak, and now everything gets fixed. Raiden gets revived by the elder gods, goes and joins them as the third member, and the other fighters go home.
Oh my. Yeah, Quinn and I were both talking about how we both got Power Ranger vibes from this. And I just you cannot turn away from how Power Rangers all the fight scenes in this movie are.
Yeah.
And
I was waiting for the Megazords to pop up, in the background.
Well, they had that. That's what the animalities were basically, right?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So there's so much
wrong here.
Okay, let's start with the best part of the movie, the intro, which they basically just took the intro from the first movie and they played the Mortal Kombat song with the flames, and that was cool. That was pretty cool.
I feel like the music is the only thing this movie really gets right, but most of that music is just taken from the first movie.
Yes.
So,
there's so many problems. And you talked earlier about the CGI. Like, I don't know why they went so heavy on the CGI. The last movie, I feel like is like, it doesn't take itself too seriously. And then this movie's like, what if we took ourselves really seriously and had a fucked up plot that didn't make sense? And then it tries to do the thing where it tries to put like the morals into it. Like the first, so many of these movies I hate that do that, where it's like, no, Jax, the power is inside yourself. The thing with his arms. It's just like, come on, you must pass 3 special trials of your character and we're just gonna say it directly to you in dialogue. And it's like, okay. So like the things that the first movie avoided, this one just steps right into all of them.
At this point, I'm completely convinced the reason most of the cast was replaced is because all of the other, the cast of the first movie, they read the script of the first movie and like, okay, this is going to be campy, but fun to do. Then they read the script of the second one, was like, this is garbage.
Yeah,
I'm not attaching my name to this.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think
besides Katana.
and Liu Kang.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I thought the fight scenes were kind of worse. I'm trying to think what maybe the reptile Raiden dance battle was the best of them, and that one wasn't even good.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, there's just seems like there's a lot more filler, like action shots than like actual
And
fighting,
they
which
just
really lent itself to like the Power Rangers. Like, that's what I think of
right.
like Power Rangers. Like, they do like
Yeah.
somersaults in the air, like
Yeah. Oh,
cartwheels, or like I don't know.
the scene where it blows up and
Mm,
Jax and Sonya are escaping. Oh my
yeah.
god, it's literally them just jumping in front of a filmed back. It. Oh my gosh.
I think they
I
didn't
don't
need to do as
know.
many close-ups as they did as well because it really just
Yeah.
it took you
Other
out of the environment, like
other
of
ex-
the generals as well.
yeah. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Right. That
Like, did close-ups of all of them, and you're like, okay,
well, and then
that looks like shit.
so many of those characters are just throwaway. Like, why? Like with the Shiva, just you see her in like one scene and she says some shit. Then you see her again, like 2 seconds before she gets smashed by the thing.
Mhm.
The Rain character literally does nothing until he gets thrown into a pit by Shao Kahn himself.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it's not. It's
Yeah, and the reason for it too is so bad. He's like, I've killed two of Earth's strongest warriors and and claimed thousands of more souls. Did you make them beg for their lives? Is that important? Thrown into fire.
right. Yeah, I'm not interested in the characters. They're all kind of lame. All the dialogue's lame. Um, then do you want to talk about the CGI now?
I God, I mean, I feel like I could just go see the CGI is terrible. End of
Right.
story.
It
But
it
but the gargoyles are particularly egregious,
mm,
as is that entire animality fight between
the
Shao Kahn and
animality
Liu
fight.
Kang.
Oh my god.
That's really
I
bad.
feel like the animality fight's made worse because it's like the climactic fight of the movie, and then it
Yeah.
just turns into that, and you're like, what? Oh, um, but yeah, the one that pops out though, and Jax is punching it. I do not understand. I don't. Um, Jax, a line from Jax. You've got an incredible set of legs for kicking. I mean, I think he says
Oh
that
my
to
god.
Jade.
Yeah. No, I think he's doesn't he say that to Jade?
Yeah, Jade. I think. I
Yeah.
think that's what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
the girl in green, right?
yeah. Do you remember the scene where Liu Kang takes out Smoke, where he does like a kick, and when he does the kick, he knocks him over, but he's still standing within like 5 to 6 feet of him. Then it cuts to a scene of an explosion where there's an explosion like 20 feet away from him over a ledge. I Wild, but that's
I
just
didn't
like
think you would
everything.
notice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
To me, the whole movie like seems like a scam.
it's like a fake Mortal Kombat movie somebody made.
No, it's like they made how much money? Like $100 million off the first movie, and then they're like, okay, guys, I know a quick
Oh,
way we can make 20
right,
million.
like a cheap movie.
We'll have we'll increase our budget by like 10 million, but we'll just pay off the actors and everybody, so you get a good payday,
I Yeah, I
and
feel
then
like
we'll trick everybody else to come and watch it because
right.
the last one like was like okay, but yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it's really sad after the first one to then come to this and be
Yeah.
like, oh god.
Well, yeah, I checked like the budgets on Wikipedia, and the first one was like 20 mil, and they made like 120 million like in the box office or something
Oh
like that. So like
wow,
they did
really?
really well.
Yeah.
Um, and then the second one was like 30 million
Mhm.
budget, and then they made like 52 million box
What? They
office.
made 52 million? Oh my
Yeah, so
gosh.
like they still made $20 million off this movie. So like to me, that's like, oh, we don't really have to do anything. We just increase the budget maybe a little bit, like so we can pay some people, and then
Yeah.
we know some people will come and watch it.
Yeah, this movie's bad all around. I can't think of anything I like about it. I don't like what they do with the characters. I Yeah. There's
Yeah, I feel
nothing.
bad for the actors, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, some more than others because I like Shiva got done really dirty in this movie. Uh, Kitana, again, damsel in distress, and then the only thing she's kind of relegated to is like a girl fight at the end with her mother Sindel.
Hmm.
And then you have Sonya Blade, whose standout moment is beating a female ninja in a mud puddle.
Oh my gosh, Sindel.
Right.
Holy shit, that character. What what why is she so like it's like she's playing a comedy character sometimes. I don't understand anything about Sindel's character. I
No, I mean the overacting on the villain's end
yeah.
is
She was like Rita Repulsa from the Power Rangers. Like
yeah.
that's basically oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
threw a bunch of like, oh, there's all these Mortal Kombat characters. Just toss them into the movie.
Yeah, it's really like it's sad for the Mortal Kombat characters to be in the movie.
Right.
It's
And then if
just
we don't need you, Shao Kahn will just we'll just toss you out. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All right. So, do we want to bash anything else about this movie? I mean, do you want to say what your favorite parts about the movie were? I mean, we've already established the theme song. That's a high point.
Yeah,
Um,
the first like before we even see anything, the Mortal
yeah.
Kombat. That's
It
like the
still
best part for
was
me.
still a good movie at that point. I
Oh,
didn't really like any of the fight scenes. Nightwolf's weird, like WWE style, like makeup. He was like dude, what?
I just think it's
Um,
funny how fast Johnny Cage died.
that was pretty funny. Yeah. So
He
really, it's
just
the
happens like,
comedy.
you fool.
Yeah,
It's
Johnny
like, what?
Cage's death. Scorpion yelling "suckers" as he jumps into a portal. I laughed at that. Um,
The traveling pinball machine, like the teleporting
oh
mother
yeah,
or
that
whatever.
that one just made me a little sad because that's like where you really start to see just like, wait, what? um, yeah. Are we ready to rank this one?
I got to think of something I
Yeah.
like about this movie. I
Oh,
feel like
Kudra's not-
I mean, and the only thing I can think of is like I feel like the overacting on all the villains is unintentionally hilarious at certain points.
yeah.
Like Shao Kahn, all
Mhm.
of him, every single line that he does is screaming at someone.
Yeah.
Like Sindel, just every single line punctuated for emphasis.
Yeah, I mean that's
Uh,
kind of how I feel bad about the actors. It's like
Mm.
like they're trying to act like really well, and then they're probably getting feedback from like the director that's like, "Oh yeah, that's really good," and
Turn
you're
it
like,
up.
"No, stop."
All right, so Kudra has zero good things to say about this movie.
yeah. You know what the worst part about this is? When I was a kid, I used to like this movie.
Oh, this one? I liked the first one when I was younger, and I remember seeing the second one, and I definitely like fell for it a little bit, but I remember like liking the first one and being like, I don't know about this one. But
A 12-year-old Kudrow was an idiot.
Which character
Yeah.
did you dress up for Halloween as?
Did I? I think I might have went one Halloween as Sub-Zero, but
Okay.
I don't know. I always thought Sub-Zero was a cool Mortal Kombat character, but well, not the one in this movie, but
yeah,
most of them.
I like Sub-Zero too.
What about you, Colton? Did you ever?
I dressed up as a Power Ranger multiple times. I don't know if I ever did a Mortal Kombat character.
What color was your Power Ranger?
I think I did multiple. I know I was the White Ranger at one point.
Good choice.
But yeah. So Kudro, do you want to rank this one first?
Oh, sure.
I feel like I know what you're gonna rank it.
You don't know me.
I do. You're gonna give it an F.
Oh, see, I'm actually torn between an E and an F.
I am also torn between an E and an F. I don't know if there's like, am I being too harsh with the F? Like it is still Mortal Kombat characters, or do I give it an F because they disgraced the Mortal Kombat? Yep, I give it an F. They disgraced the Mortal Kombat characters, and it's actually worse that they made the movie in the first place. It was a scar up on video game movies, and I give it an F.
Yeah, I don't know if video game movies have ever recovered from this completely.
Well, it may have had some other things to help it in the years after too, but
Yeah, I have to go with an F. I think it's terrible. Trash movie. Thumbs down. 0% Rotten Tomatoes. Tomato. Boo.
I have to concur with you all. I think F is a good ranking.
all right. Well, let's pull up the tier list here. So, in my personal opinion, this movie's better than Final Fantasy Spirits Within. But based on our
Wow.
overall rankings of all Fs, we're gonna have to put this in the F tier.
Do you remember when I said you would lose all integrity as a reviewer? This is that moment.
I mean, I'm
Gone.
not. I put them both in the F tier. I don't think you should watch either of them. But yeah. So do you guys agree overall though this goes in the F tier?
Yeah, 100%.
I think we might have some more in the F tier over time here.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Anyways, Mortal Kombat Annihilation ranking of video game movies is in the F tier. And you can see the full ranking list on our website, srankmedia.com. All right.
No video game movie higher than a C thus far.
I think that's fair.
Might be a while before we get one above a C.
Yeah, unless next week.
Oh yeah, Kudrow,
We're
what did
watching-
you what one are we doing next?
I hate when the decision falls squarely on my shoulders.
Because we're between watching the next Mortal Kombat movie or the first Tomb Raider movie. Should we do the next Mortal Kombat movie, then go through all the Tomb Raider movies?
Yeah, why don't we do that? That way, we're keeping it continuous. Let's just do the next Mortal Kombat movie.
Is there
You can do a fair comparison of each one.
Yeah.
is there 2 or 3 Lara Croft Tomb Raider movies?
I think there's 2 with Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie, not Lara. Sorry.
And then I think there's like 2 others.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I'm not completely sure.
All right, so next week though we'll watch the new Mortal Kombat movie, the reboot from 2021. Is that last year?
Oh,
So.
Yeah. Anyways,
it wasn't that long ago.
Available on HBO Max.
Maybe it'll be good.
I like it. I've seen it before. I will watch it again.
I've heard it.
Same.
But
Quinn, you haven't seen it yet?
Nope.
there was some. I don't know. I think there was definitely some segment of people that didn't like it, but I don't know. I got what I wanted out of it. Like I didn't expect more than Mortal Kombat, and I don't know that the CGI and stuff's way better. You're gonna get cooler fight scenes at a minimum.
I feel. No, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll let you watch it and decide for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else is cool this week?
We're
We're gonna play Diablo, right? Diablo 1.
Yeah.
Sick.
On GOG.
Yeah, you can get it on GOG. That's where you get it currently. That's the only place.
I think you can play it for free within a browser, actually.
Oh, gotcha.
But I don't know if we want to do that.
You can. I paid the $9 to play it not through a browser.
I'll probably buy it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how does it save your character? Does it save it in the cookies of the browser?
I have no idea. You might not even be able to save. I just saw that was an option. So
I gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's all I got for this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't really been any bigger news.
I think the only thing I saw a brief mention of was I think like Tencent and Sony collectively bought like 30% of From Softwares.
30%, huh? I mean, that makes sense. I guess my thought is the way Sony's moving, their games are going to come to PC quicker and quicker. It seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I mean, I just want the games on PC because I have zero interest in playing on a console. There's not really a benefit to me playing on a console. Um,
I mean, you basically play a console for exclusives anymore. So
well, no, I mean for the price, like a PS5 or an Xbox Series X is really powerful for $500, right?
yeah,
Like for its price point, it's great. But if you're somebody who's already built up like a computer, then I mean, the only reason you play then is to play exclusives, which, yeah.
which unfortunately I'm the person who will do that. I literally bought a PS4 to play Bloodborne.
Yeah, it's not that I
I
wouldn't,
regret
but
nothing.
well, yeah, and that's fine. It's not that I wouldn't. It's just typically like the games haven't been enough. Like sometimes there's like one game I really want to play, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't end up buying it just for that. But
Yep.
I saw there was a new Assassin's Creed.
What's up?
That they're gonna announce in detail on September 10th.
a new Assassin's Creed, you said?
Um,
Is there one coming out this year? Did they skip last year? Because they were
I think,
skipping a year, right? Or they where it was
yeah,
gonna,
I think there was some leaks or something like that. So then Ubisoft was like, oh, okay, we need to announce something. So they
I
announced like an event
oh
that they're gonna release it on the 10th.
oh I guess it's probably not this year, right? We're getting kind of late in the year if they haven't like officially announced
Yeah,
it.
probably not,
Yeah.
unless they go for November, December time. But I doubt they would do that. So
It's typically they'd have a longer cycle before that. But
yeah,
all right. Well,
Ubisoft Forward is the event name. It's supposed to be smaller than the past couple. So maybe getting back to the original Assassin's Creed's roots. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know if that sells. People say they want it, but how many people actually want to buy it, you know?
Just add some microtransactions onto it.
And I don't know if Ubisoft's in a position where they are trying to take those risks, right? They're like, haven't they been on edge lately? I think they have.
I mean, they got rid of that one battle royale game they had.
Oh, right, like right after it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know what else they've been doing.
Yeah. They need some hits.
Yeah. I saw something about family and friends Xbox Game Pass.
Oh yeah, I saw something about that, but I didn't read the details. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
so what's going on with that?
I'm assuming it's like similar to like Apple Music or like Spotify, where you can have multiple people on one subscription for Game Pass. So they're testing that. I'm not sure specifics, but
interesting. I'll have to look at that.
Yeah,
nice.
They're testing out in Ireland and Colombia.
Oh, gotcha.
You can share with up to 4 friends or family members for $22 a month.
They're specifically saying you can share it with friends, which is pretty cool. So that must mean they're like,
So €22 in Ireland divided by 4. So that's like what? A little under $6.
You say 32 and 4 or 22 and 4?
22.
Oh, 22?
Yeah.
So that's like
$5.50, right?
Yeah, it's like $6.
€5.50. Yeah. That's not terrible.
It'd
Better
be
than
interesting.
$10 a month.
It'd be interesting as a thing. Like, I wonder if it include because doesn't Game Pass include the xCloud gaming stuff?
I'm not sure.
Because that would be interesting if you had like a couple or three friends who played, and then you could get like your other friend to join and play on xCloud for like multiplayer games. That's a cool idea because I could see that with some of my friends who play but don't play computer games. Like, if I could be like, "Oh, you can get on our plan and play on xCloud and play like, you know, Back for Blood with us on, on your
Right.
iPad with a controller."
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. To me, it's like they're trying to tap into that bank of people that don't want to pay the $10, but would be willing to settle for $5. So like, there's like the $10 people that already pay, and then they're like, well, there's this like subclass of people that would be willing to pay,
Yeah, and you get
$5.
I guess the cool thing then is you get like your group of people so you can play them. There's a lot of multiplayer games on Game Pass.
Right.
So you could really get into some of those probably pretty easily, like Sea of Thieves, there's a ton of those out there. But
it's definitely a lot more attractive than the $10 a month.
Right. So. All right. Should we call it there? So our next game, as we said, we're going to be playing the original Diablo. Ranking of Cage next week. We're going to be watching The Boy in Blue. I think it's about rowing. I don't know. I think that one's on Amazon Prime. We'll be doing ranking of video game movies. Mortal Kombat, the reboot from last year. Yeah, we stream the show every Thursday at 9 p.m., 6 p.m. Pacific. Then you can find our ranking of episodes on YouTube, or they upload to podcast feeds as well. You can search ranking of, or for the full feed, or ranking of Cage, ranking of whatever to get the individual feeds. If you like the show, follow us on Twitch or YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at SRankMediaClub, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Have a good one.